And the Mormon Church just paid $153 million for what?
Don't exaggerate.
Jeez.
No? And every penny of that came from the... Because the antis are all like, stealing money from Filipino widows to pay for their beachfront properties. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. Stop it.
What are the comments, dude?
They just paid more for a rental property than they spent on humanitarian aid. I'm sure they prayed about it first. I'm so glad that these new African converts can contribute their meager income to these lovely condos in Florida.
Avalon Bay didn't record a mortgage. Looks like the church ain't financing any of this either. This is literally the epitome of FU money.
Ward Radio. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Welcome back to Ward Radio, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Cardon. Today we're joined in the studio by Jonah Barnes, the Associate Professor of All Things Apocryphal, and today's Editor-in-Chief of Ward Radio News, bringing us this gem. Jonah, holy smoke, the Mormon Church, I just read the article that you sent me, and the Mormon Church just paid $153 million for what again?
Well, it was 152.5. Don't exaggerate.
Jeez,
holy We're trying to inflate the numbers here. Come on.
Oh man.
They purchased like a small town in Boca Raton, Florida, a 384 unit apartment complex right on the beach there in Boca Raton, Florida, for $152.5 million.
Jeez Louise. Okay.
And every penny of that came from the investment fund. None of it is coming from your tithing or fast offerings. Just to get that out of the way right at the beginning, because the antis are all like, well, stealing money from Filipino widows to pay for their beachfront properties. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. Stop it. They have a cartoon understanding of the world and how the world works. So the church has so much coming in from its investment gains that it can take $153 million to invest in commercial in a property. And then rent out that property and make money, and like a business does.
You're right. And it says the religious institution has made the purchases through property reserve, which invests church reserve funds in commercial real estate. And it bought the Del Ola complex in 7801 North Federal Highway from an affiliate in New York-based Clarion Partners. And it breaks down at about $100 per unit. Okay, well, that actually seems pretty market, industry standard and normal. Like nobody's getting taken to the cleaners or getting taken advantage of there, right?
So they do, yeah. So they purchased the Del Ola. Del Ola is the one that they purchased. It was finished in 2012 and 2013. That's when it was built.
Okay.
So it's been around for over a decade. And then the church just purchased it. It's got 19 three-story apartment buildings, a two-story clubhouse, and 5 one-story garages. It's 17.5 acres, which that's pretty darn big. And so now it's got a view of the ocean there for when global warming comes and kills us all.
But our church has such a huge history of making these really interesting oceanfront properties, purchases, and then also either returning them to the people for an affordable rate, like happened in Hawaii. Do you remember when they literally built low-income housing in Hawaii?
So that was the coolest. That was one of the coolest things our church has ever done.
Did you see that heartbreaking American Idol interview of the Hawaiian guy, the audition? And he's like, yeah, well, now I live in Oregon, or now I live in Portland or something. And they said, you're from Hawaii. Why you live in Portland? He's like, oh, I was priced out of paradise. And just 50th generation Hawaiian has to leave his homeland because so many just wealthy American elites are buying up all of the coast of the entire island of Hawaii so badly that now locals can't even afford to live there. And the second the Mormon church comes in and says, we're going to build some low-income housing, they're like, but my view! But my view!
Right.
Vote Democrat, you racist, but my view.
That was one of the coolest things. That was one of the coolest things the church has ever done. That was like, as like a dad who pays rent and like feeds kids, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's my church. That's my church doing that. That was so cool.
So cool. Now it looks like this is kind of a little bit more of a banal investment. It looks like they last year they bought an 8-story 315 unit Ellsworth apartment building for $133 million, $102.4 million for Polo Gardens. I mean, this is
that Florida too? Was that Florida too?
Yeah, and then Farmland
Church is all
Reserve.
over Florida, man. Church is loving on Florida.
So why? Like, why such an investment in Florida? Is it just that it's a good market right now? Or do you think they're actually making moves?
It's because before it sank into the Gulf of Mexico,
I'm sorry, I think you meant the Gulf of America. I do believe you meant...
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Gulf of America. I'm sorry. Yeah. I can't believe I did that on air. This is so embarrassing. It shows how old I am. It shows my age that I said Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
But before it sank, before the land of Nephi sank into the Gulf of America, it was closest to Florida, and so the church wants to invest right there. When it comes back again and reunites with the city of Enoch, that'll be prime real estate. That's obviously what.
All right. In preparation for the reappearance of the city of Enoch, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is investing in Florida. Okay, wow. So
But not everybody's happy about it. There's some hate.
Shut up. Oh my God.
Yes.
Did Ex-Mormon subreddit get to this before we did?
You bet they did. Because they follow the church closer than anyone follows the church. They follow the church. The anti-Mormons, man, they follow every move of this church more than the church does. So if you look down, there's just a couple comments. These I thought were a little bit rich.
What's the map? I see a map in the Discord. What is this map?
Yeah, all right, before we get to the hate. Yeah, so this map, I was just Googling around to find out the address of this place. Look at all the LDS chapels in Boca Raton.
Holy you're right. Look at that.
Great Scott, people. There's a ton of members of the church down there. Look at this.
Dude, this is legit, man.
That's wild, man. That's a ton.
Smoke.
We're everywhere down there. What is going on? Half of them are in English, half of them are in Spanish. All of them, for whatever reason, have this, like, they're all signified by a plus sign. Plus, I guess it's because it's like good reviews. They get good reviews, so it's like a big plus sign. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, tons of those.
Okay.
I was just blown away how many buildings there are. Good grief.
That's funny. Okay, and then what are the comments, dude? We got some some nasty comments here? Or what?
Yeah, so there's some hate. Starting off with Colts R Us, I think is what he's trying to go for.
Colts are us. Okay.
Yes. They just paid more for a rental property than they spent on humanitarian aid. I'm sure they prayed about it first. And a reply, actually 3 times the amount they spent on humanitarian aid.
Is that even accurate? First off,
no. It's abysmal. No, it's not accurate at all.
Okay, so you're very familiar with the stats coming out of church welfare. Kind of what's a more realistic statistic?
The church spent $1.5 billion on humanitarian aid in 2024.
Really?
Yeah. So no, that's like a tenth of what they spent on humanitarian aid. And by the way, all the money that goes to humanitarian aid, where do you think it comes from? It comes from the gains that the church makes in rental properties, smart guy. It comes from the gains that we make in our investments. So what the church just did is it just bought an excellent investment that is going to churn out all this profit that the church is going to use to do more humanitarian work. Okay, genius? So it's more than they spent. First of all, math, sit down. Second of all, this is what the church does. The church invests in things, gets a huge return because it's fantastic at investing, and then turns around and does humanitarian aid. $1.5 billion in humanitarian aid. How much did you give to humanitarian aid last year? Was it north of $1 billion?
Yeah.
South of $2 billion?
Good point. Point.
And by the way, that's bucks. That's bucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not including all the volunteer hours that the church puts out, which is astronomical. Astronomical. All the work in humanitarian aid that a missionary does in some village in Zimbabwe, digging a well or laying pipe for somebody. None of that's counted.
Yeah.
None of that's counted. That's bucks. So So these comments are they're just delicious. They're just
so
deliciously
what's
ignorant.
what's the next comment I see? There's another comment here about I'm so glad.
Intelligent Ant 2895 says, we all have that ant. We all have
Oh, I got mine speaking at Sunstone.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that's like so classic.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that these new African converts can contribute their meager income to these lovely condos in Florida. Oh.
Guaranteed. That's a white cat owning upper middle class, wealthy suburban owning woman who has been in an Airbnb overlooking an ocean for some spring break recently, or has a vacation home, or something. There's no way that person's poor. I guarantee you there's no way that person is poor. Hey guys, we're going to press pause just for 1 second to thank a sponsor, none other than scripturenotes.com, the coolest way to read your guys' scriptures online. If you guys want to receive a small discount on Scripture Notes, you can actually use the code WARDRADIO and you'll get a 14-day free trial to Scripture Notes. Totally worth it, totally awesome. I use it in every episode. Now, back to the episode.
Yeah, that's a little bit, that's so backward. That they're donating their tithing, okay? And that's going to buying condos in Florida. All right, sorry. I know that these people don't often have jobs. They might not understand how money works. But when you invest in things, that money goes into an asset. Then that asset churns out more money, hopefully. And then you get more money. The church isn't lighting the money on fire. It's $152.5 million of investment. And that's going to have a return, hopefully an 8%, 10%, 12%. That'd be kind of amazing. Some kind of a return. All that return comes back as cash. So the church isn't losing the money, okay? It's investing the money in an asset that will give it a return.
Yeah.
And it's not investing tithing money or fast offering money. The Widow's Mite report clearly shows the church makes so much off its investment funds, it never has to take another penny of for general authority stipends or anything like that.
Yeah.
No, can do that in perpetuity. Never has to take that ever again or feel guilty about, geez, this is people's donations. Nope. Never has to do it again because they're geniuses with investment. So this is so backward, taking money from African converts to buy condos in Florida. No, actually, the condos in Florida are going to generate return that the church will use to do humanitarian aid work in places like Africa. So you're completely wrong.
Which brings up the last quote. This one was funny. Funny. What's the last quote? You put it in the Discord?
This is the best one.
Yeah.
Slumlords, anyone? Slumlords? Oh my goodness. Yeah, slumlords. Okay.
Oh my
Of course. No, it's these people don't understand. These people commenting have never resold anything.
Or have ever seen a bishop who runs the bishop storehouse giving away literally tens of thousands of dollars of food per week and hundreds of thousands of dollars of assistance per month. Like,
so Cardon. Okay, I didn't tell you this before. We have to do an episode on this.
Okay.
My bakery is right next to a food shelter, a food pantry.
Yeah.
Okay, and every now and then a huge semi truck pulls up with Deseret Industries written on the side.
Okay. Do you know what it is?
And they unload, 24 pallets at a time of just food, tons of food.
Okay.
And I know the people in this food pantry, I work next door to them, and they're like, oh, we love it when the Mormons come and they give us all this food. It's great. We order what we want and they just bring it for free. Like, it's amazing. Okay. So just this last, a week or so ago, I was at the temple groundbreaking for my Vancouver temple. And there I saw the director of communications for the region, for like Washington or West Coast or something. And it was PR, external public relations or something. Very nice woman named Sandy. I don't remember her last name. And I told her about this and she goes, what? We do that? I was like, the church doesn't tell anybody. We don't even tell our own people that we're doing this.
Yeah.
It's thousands of pounds of food, pallets and tens of thousands of pounds of food. And that's just one little food pantry I happen to know about because it's outside my window.
Yeah.
How many more do we do this to? How many more pantries Are we filling up all the time? And we never tell a soul about it. Drives me
Yeah.
crazy. So I feel like someday we need to do an episode on this. Next time I'm going to catch that truck and I'm going to film them. I'm going to be looking out my window for the next time they come around. But
And that is
anyways.
a tricky one too. I know I've said this on the show, so I won't go down this rabbit hole again, but I understand that you want to give your alms to the poor in secret, that your Father in heaven may reward you openly, right? That's the scriptural basis of giving anonymously, okay? As we say in air quotes. However, there's also, sometimes you need to document things so that like people actually know you're helping out and you're not, as the Doctrine and Covenants says, like Joseph Smith had to stop the translation of the Book of Mormon to address anti-Mormon complaints against him. Like the Lord literally said, stop what you're doing and then address these lies that are getting spread about the church. And there's no better way of, frankly, just dispersing lies said about the church, about like, especially religion is harmful, or it's just a big greedy money grab, than showing like, if it was a money grab, why did we just dump 10,000 pounds of bread on the poor who have nothing to do with our church and who are trying to help out,
And the people who come, I know the people who come by this food drive, they have no idea.
Yeah.
They have no idea. They have no idea that the Church of Jesus Christ is donating that food.
And that's also just the donations that kind of show up on paper. Like, for example, with food banks. So it's very well known on this program. Like my father owns a pest control company, right? And so I'll do inspections for him sometimes. And there's a very lovely, beautiful non-member friend of mine. She's even a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? And she's in charge and volunteers at a food bank. And, this food bank's in downtown LA. Eric Garcetti outlawed rodenticides in Los Angeles in 2015. And some of the hardest hit institutions are food storage facilities and food production facilities with the increased rodent activity. And they go down there and they're like, oh, I do an inspection. There are rodents everywhere. It's corrupting the food supply that they're trying to give to the poor. They're losing food. They're having to throw a lot of it out. And I go down there and this job rate cards out at like $45,000. Just the labor was like 10. And, maybe license and liability, another 5 to 10 or something like that. And so I remember I just called up my dad and I said, dude, these people need help. Like, I'm going to give it to them literally at cost. And he was like, okay, cool. And so we missed out on like 20 grand of profit that could have gone to helping, pay different debts and bills and things that we have. Now that doesn't show up as charity, and it is a voluntary capitalist transaction. So I'm not complaining. It's not like, I ended up having to ask them for food because I couldn't even fund the whole thing. But like, that's just members of the church who so value what they do. I have since donated to them actually just cash donations, and there's all kinds of soft charity that happens from people as well. Volunteer hours. That doesn't show up on the sheet as like a $500 donation. But you and I have some sweet lady from the ward. We organized a Just Serve campaign. Right. So there was like 12 youth that go down there. That doesn't show up as like minimum wage for 12 people for 3 hours, a $3,000 in-kind donation. There's all kinds of other gospel inspired, I don't know if you want to call it soft charity, off the books charity, non-monetary charity that happens as well, that is all inspired by membership in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I mean,
so actually, that's the great secret, Cardon.
Yeah.
That's the great secret. That's actually what the church wants to do. The church doesn't want to go around solving everyone else's problems. The church wants to inspire people to solve each other's problems. The church wants, even if it doesn't do it as effectively, the church would rather convert local people to helping their neighbor and make helpers. So I just put in the Discord some stats about Just Serve. For 2024, just released like a couple days ago. Okay?
Whoa. Is this true?
So Just Serve
dude. This is huge.
Yeah, it's blowing up. 134,000 new users. Just Serve, if people don't know, is a website that's tailored for local people to connect to local causes. So anybody can go to Just Serve, and in your area, there's a Just Serve page where you can find local causes and a food pantry or a shelter or a service project or whatever. That's the church's model. It doesn't want to become the great, provider for the human race. The church doesn't want to do that. The church wants the human race to provide for each other. It wants us to love and serve each other. 134,000 new users, 30,000 new projects were created, 8 million Relief Society sisters who contributed to hours of ministering work, and 12,277 welfare and self-reliance missionaries. That's a heck of a force out there. What else has a force like that?
Yeah.
What else has a force like that?
That is crazy impressive. And nobody knows about it. Like what? Man, that's frustrating.
Well, they do now because Ward Radio, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Now remember, the Peace
All
Corps.
50,000 of our subs. Yeah, baby. This needs to be going out to millions, but it will because you're going to share this video.
That's right. Just for perspective. So the 134,000 new people registered and 8 million Relief Society sisters, 12,000 service missionaries. The United States Peace Corps has 3,000. In the entire United States Peace Corps.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. What other charitable organization has 12,000 people in constant churn, or 8 million Relief Society sisters doing service projects? That's a huge organization. They're always like, oh, the church never does any humanitarian work. Blah, 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 blah. And you think, guys, I don't know what to tell you guys. They're mobilizing the whole human race to try to help each other. That's why the giving machines at Christmas.
Yeah.
That's why these are so genius.
Yeah.
Because it's lay people donating to their local communities.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's
great. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So
I
could go on forever. I go on forever. But look, that apartment complex, here's the secret. That apartment complex in Florida, all the money that we gain from that is going to go to either investing more and making more money and turning $1 into $2, or it's going to go to humanitarian aid. That's what it's going to go to. It's going to build up the human race and help people. That's what it all goes to. There's no one driving a Lamborghini. Russell M. Nelson doesn't have a private jet and a Lamborghini. Okay? Show me a picture of Quentin L. Cook in his hot tub surrounded by Swedish volleyball athletes.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Okay? The only thing I also want to point out is I'm reading this article, and dude, it looks like it says this month, X institution for X building on Hollywood Boulevard, right? Says Avalon Bay didn't record a mortgage, and Favo completed the purchase through an all-stock and assumption of liabilities deal. So, looks like the church ain't financing any of this either.
No kidding, is that right?
Just like, there's the. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I read this too fast and I'm misinterpreting it. But like,
whoa,
there's no mortgage on this. They're just like dropping the money, dog.
Holy cow!
Like,
is that right?
That
didn't
is
record a mortgage. Completed the purchase through an all stock and assumption of liabilities deal. Oh,
dude,
jeez.
That is the epitome of FU money. Like, maybe that needs to go in the intro. Editors, if this does not offend the conservative Mormons out there, this is literally the epitome of FU money. Like, P. Diddy ain't doing this. Justin Bieber ain't doing this. Like, this is who's that big real estate mogul that owns Sotheby's?
Warren Buffett.
This is a Warren Buffett move, dude.
But dude, like, when the church says F you money, it means friend you. It means
friend
finance you. It means food shelters for you. Like that's what feed you. That's the church's F you money. That's enough money. See, and it's going to make a huge return. They always complain that the church has all this money. Well, where's it going? Well, it's not going to where I think it should go. Okay, well then where does it go?
Yeah.
Where does it go? It doesn't go to helicopters and parties and drugs for church leaders. It doesn't. They don't spend it. So you're mad at nothing. You're mad because the church is better with its money than any institution in the world.
Yeah.
That's what you're mad about.
That's funny.
Make it a trillion. Make it a trillion. Hashtag.
By the way, it's already been a trillion. We all know it's already been a trillion.
It's already been a trillion.
You know what I'm saying? So hashtag make it a couple trillion. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. You like this? You dislike it? You have some insider information. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. For this and more, please make sure you check us out at wardradio.com.